saying we shouldn't go.
Maybe after this cutscene, we'll actually like turn OBS off completely and back on again. Maybe that'll fix it.
There's gotta be some kind of way we can save you, Yuna.
All my life, I knew this moment would come.
Yuni.
Thank you.
What just fell?
Riku.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Thank you for everything.
That is very... I have never...
Before you say this is hot, bear in mind they are cousins.
No, that's not what I was saying. I was saying I've never hugged another woman like that in my life.
Oh.
That does not look comfortable.
Tell Sid.
It probably isn't, but I don't know.
Like her goggles are digging into her chest. Like, that sounds painful. Man, no, that was not what I was gonna say.
Please.
Yuni, don't say that because...
And also, you're like
okay?
16?
Kimari.
Well, they're both underage. They're both
Yeah.
about the same age. That's why I was like, it's fine with Titus because there's like a 1 year difference as opposed to Seymour, who's like over twice her age.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's like pushing 30 and she's not even 18.
What is he doing?
He's listening to it. That's how you like listen to the spheres that you've been seeing in the world. Like the Braska sphere that you picked up in the middle of Mount Gagazet.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you actually look at them. They just don't ever show it up to this
Sir
point.
Oren, Kimari told me when my father wanted me taken from Bavel to Besaid.
Forgot about
It was
that.
you who told Kimari, right? I had always wanted to meet you someday. I am truly glad that I had that chance. Having you as a guardian was so great an honor. I don't know
This
how
was
to
like
thank you.
way back.
Perhaps
This is whenever whenever you
defeat
killed like the
Sin,
Chocobo
that
eater
will be my
or
thanks
whatever.
to you.
Yeah, that's where
That's
this
what
is.
I'll do. Yes,
At the high
I will
road.
challenge Sin. I will defeat
This
Sin.
feels like it was about half
if
a year
you
ago.
are all there watching this,
Probably because it was, roughly.
then I guess Sin is already gone. And so am I suppose.
It is really weird that they just don't
Anyway,
say anything
I just
until
wanted
he
to- Yeah.
finds out, and then it's
Sir
like, yep,
Oren.
we're gonna talk about it all the time.
It's like I get why from like
thank you.
a game perspective and like unreliable narrator and all that, but
Kimari.
yeah, it's kind of obnoxious.
Do
As
you
they get
remember
closer
the
to
first
it,
day we
like-
met?
Yeah.
I
But
was only 7.
I feel like
Or maybe just make Titus like at the beginning
defeated
care so
Sin,
little that he doesn't
and
even
all
bother like
Bavel was
asking for
celebrating.
elaboration whenever they're kind of
Everyone
like
was
a little bit more
saying
vague
what
on
a
it.
hero my father
when I
was.
Or instead of, like-
refuse
I was
to
so
believe that
happy.
Waka could hold a
But
secret
when
to save
night
his
came,
life. I refuse
it
to believe
occurred
that
to
he
me.
wouldn't put his foot
My
in
father
his mouth.
had defeated
I
Sin.
think it actually
And now,
fits his character because
was
whenever you
dead.
find out originally when
Now,
Titus is like, when I was the
was
only one
all alone.
that didn't know, like, why didn't you
couldn't
tell
see.
me? I think he genuinely
So
didn't
I
want to think
wandered
about it
into
because he
the
was like,
town,
it was too sad for us
away
to
from
think
the
about.
celebrating crowds.
So I think it was literally
I
like just
stood
so
on the
sad
bridge in
that he
Bavel,
didn't think about it. The same way
where
like
my
he was
father
so
and I
focused
had
on
parted.
Blitzball with his first,
Standing there,
the first person he was
alone.
guarding,
I
that he
could
just like
see
didn't
the
focus on what he was
fields
doing.
where
He just
he had
chose to
fought
divert his
Sin.
attention to something else to basically
Then
push those thoughts
you
away.
appeared, Kimari. You said you were looking for the daughter of Braska, remember? At first, I was so scared. Until I realized what a gentle person you
This
are.
feels like a suicide note.
It's a goodbye note is
You
what
weren't
it is.
used to talking to children.
Because if she knew she was gonna
When
die,
I
this
told
is
you
basically
that
her
I was
leaving like
Braska's
her,
daughter,
hey,
you
I
said you would
appreciate
take
everything
me
that all
as
of you did
far
for me,
from
goodbye.
Bavel as you could. That it was the wish
Which is also made doubly
of a man
sad because
facing death.
since this is at the Mihin High Road, there's no goodbye to
I
Riku
think
because they hadn't met Riku at that
I
point.
cried then. Because that was when I knew my father was dead. And I would never see him again. You just held me. Without saying a word. I cried after we got to Besaid, too. When you tried to go, after leaving me in the care of the temple, I held on to you crying, "Don't go, don't go." And you listened, Kimari. You stayed. Kimari, thank you. Thank
This
you
is a really
so
touching letter and
much.
all, but like, why is
And I've
why is
always
this the
liked
back?
your
Why not
broken
like
horn.
It's gonna
her
cut.
and
It's
her
gonna cut to a
word?
different shot.
Waka.
Okay,
Like
I was
that.
like, that's
Lulu.
It's being a little bit
I'll
more
never
coy because
forget
this
my
scene,
days spent with you,
like this background, you actually
growing
come
up
back
in
to this
Basay.
specific little section
We
later,
always played
so it didn't
together,
want to be
us
too
and
obvious where you
Chapu.
were initially.
That's why
So
I
that's
was
why it just showed
always
an
so
inn because
happy,
you'd seen
I
several
think.
inns at that point.
And when you refused to let me
But
become
once
a
you see that like
summoner,
little background thing right
and
there,
I
you
did it
recognize
anyway,
like, oh yeah, this
I'm
is where all the
sorry.
chocobos were.
I've always wanted to apologize.
Oh yeah,
You
and
know,
like this was when she was
When you
being
tried
like
to
really
stop me
super
then,
sketchy about it.
really, I was
Yeah,
happy.
you actually,
I could
because it'll
tell
show it here in a
you
second.
really
It's like when
cared
you walk
about
up to her and ask like what you got
You were
there, and
like
she like stops what she
my
was
big
doing. So
brother
you
and
actually
sister.
interrupted this, and it will show that in real time
I
that you
think
stopped her from
you really
continuing
were
what she was
my
doing.
big brother and sister.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
What else?
And then she smiled because that's what she does. Is she practices smiling even
I
when
love
she's sad.
watching you play blitzball, Waka. I even love it when you scold me, Lulu. Really. I guess that leaves the newest guardian,
Oh yeah, that one guy.
star player of the Xanarkand.
Again, I will give them credit where credit is due. It is impressive they managed to make him the main character of the story, but because you can customize his name, they never actually say his name in any of the voice acted lines, and they actually make it feel natural.
Honestly.
That's very hard to do.
We haven't even known
Well,
each
part
other
of it
that
is
long,
because
but
he is so unique that you don't even need to say his name.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
funny. So
Which is also
So
kind of
this is
nice
what it
because,
feels
like,
like.
even though you can
It's a
customize
much
his
more
name
wonderful
because he
feeling
is still his own
than
unique
anything I
character,
had ever
he's not like
imagined.
the generic type of like
Wonderful.
leaving him decently
But it
bland
hurts
so that
sometimes.
he's a self-insert character. Like there are plenty of people that would play this game that would not be like
I
a
wonder.
sports ball player, would not be like super out
I
and like
just
willing
want
to call
say
people on their
thank you for
bullshit, or
everything.
like standing up in Luca with a microphone being like, goers can
Maybe-
fuck off because they're going down because they got me on their team
Maybe
type
that's
of
why
thing.
it hurts. When I think about us never being together again at all, I'm afraid. No, I shouldn't say that.
Oh, I forgot to.
I'll do that part
If you can
over.
move the cursor, keep forgetting it captures the cursor.
My bad.
What you up to?
Yeah, there it is.
I'm about to be nosy.
And also slightly, surprisingly slightly subtle, at least relative to the rest of the scene, that she's liked you for a while, since that's not the main focus of the scene.
Am I supposed to step out over here?
Nope.
I've not had any encounters on here, and it's driving me nuts.
This specific spot does not have any encounters. It will when you get down into the city, but for this specific area, or this frame, no. This is all just for cool shots.
Ooh, look what we can do. This is actually really cool, though. Like,
Yeah.
I'm making snarky comments.
This is
but,
like a free tracking camera for early 2000s. This was not... Like, imagine Super Mario 64 being able to do something like that.
This looks familiar.
Does it? It probably will, because
Yeah.
this is the opening scene of the game. That was why it said every time it came up, I'm not going to bother to show it whenever we start the game, because you'll see it later. Well, later is now.
There you go.
Future Spike is now present Spike.
I thought they were in a rush, and now they're like, alright.
Well, yes and no. It's more of like if they stop and think about it, that will give them time to think, and the mind is a dangerous place to wander for essentially a suicide mission. There's the Nev Campbell shot. Except it actually has like more meaning to it now because you know the whole story behind it. As opposed to before, it's like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Like, just kind of why I think the early parts of the game do and don't work. They don't work great for first playthrough. Like, up to the point before you meet Waka, like you don't know where you are, who matters, what matters. Like it's just flipping back and forth between all this shit of like, oh, you're in Xanarkand, and now you're not in Xanarkand because you've been theoretically eaten by sin or something like that, and now you're in, like, a watery era and you get saved by somebody you don't know, and then you get eaten by sin again and get sent somewhere else. That's why Besaid is when it feels like it's actually starting to get a cohesive story.
So, remind me again how specifically he got... Okay, so... the place that he's from is a dream. It's not real. It is made up memories of the faith.
Listen to my story.
So it was real. Like,
Okay.
his Xanarkand
This
was real. It
may
was
be
like
our
1,000
last
years
chance.
ago. So this Xanarkand that you're seeing now is the same Xanarkand. It's just, it's been destroyed for 1,000 years.
Okay.
So it's less they're keeping that Xanarkand alive and more the memory of that Xanarkand alive.
So, technically... Maybe not him specifically was alive, but there were, like, hymns. There were people that were people.
Hey,
Yeah, there
was
were
more,
people that were
right?
alive. They had that war
Yeah, I mean,
between
like that
Spira
time.
at the time and Xanarkand
anyone?
at the time. And most of the people that were in Xanarkand got
Yes?
destroyed.
I
The
think
ones that
we
were
should
remaining became
stop
faith to keep the memory of it alive. So that's why there were no
Maybe.
real survivors.
for now.
And to be fair, with the exception of dreams getting pushed into the present day, like with Titus and his dad, even if there had been for both, that was 1,000 years ago, they would obviously be dead by this point.
Let's
And
go.
so, how were they specifically picked up by Sin?
So they were picked up by Sin because, I think that part's actually a spoiler. I don't know if I can say that part yet.
Oh, okay. But I'm asking good questions.
Yeah.
Please save. I don't want to sit through that cutscene again.
It's a nice cutscene, don't get me wrong, but, and this might actually be a decent stopping point. Just because I think the next stopping point is, like... yeah, it's a pretty decent distance away, and it is 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. Ugh. I have saved.
But yeah, you made it to Xanarkand.
Woohoo!
You're officially there.
After almost 40 hours.
So after you get through here, you'll get the airship back, and then you have, like, free roaming you can do to, like, get the ultimate weapons, do some extra side quests and stuff. But at that point, it also unlocks the final area of the game for you to go and finish the rest of it. So we could probably get everything done, yeah, I'd say in the next stream or two, depending on how long they go and how much side stuff you want to do.
Sounds good. Very nice, very nice. Alrighty, I will exit on out of this, and we will apparently not see any of the whatchamacallit,
Oh, nice.
the screen. So
Yeah, I was about to say, it probably, like, freaked out whenever it disconnected and reconnected, like, 16 times.
it's a bit upset.
Yay!
That's okay.
That's exciting.
Alright. We will see you guys later.